Do you sometimes wake up feeling like you've just had a very busy night? According to various researchers, our dreams can reflect our work on tasks, from diagnosing our own medical conditions to socialising with loved ones on the other side. Several Weird World viewers have reported dreams which they are convinced are communications from deceased relatives. Sometimes the accuracy of certain details is confirmed by still living family members. One such occurrence was reported by Dan in Canada, who at the age of 13 was beyond heartbroken when his beloved granddad passed of cancer. He wrote that for 3 separate nights he walked in his sleep, and on the 4th night received what he sensed was a gift. He went to bed and fell asleep very quickly when he found himself on North Hills Terrace, a roadway with houses on either side, on a winding decline that ended at Moccasin Trail. When he reached the intersection at the bottom, his granddad was waiting for him. He was healthy looking and fully clothed, except that he had no shoes or socks on. He took Dan's hand and they walked together. Dan couldn't remember if they talked, but he knew that his granddad was all right, that he loved Dan and vice versa. It wasn't until Dan was older and worked in the morgue at a hospital in Toronto that he saw how the departed were cared for. Sometimes they were clothed, but not once did he see one of the deceased with socks or shoes on. Gareth in Newcastle, United Kingdom, believes he has communicated with both his deceased uncle and his own father. In the dream about his uncle, who had passed away many years earlier, Gareth's initial feeling was of flying over a picturesque coastline unfamiliar to him. He then approached a middle-aged couple in a restaurant and asked if they had seen his uncle. The woman replied, "I think your uncle is at the baker's getting his pies and pasties." Gareth continued asking people about his uncle before ending up in a green-painted kitchen of a red brick house where 4 figures sat at the kitchen table. Gareth came to believe that these were family members. After waking up confused, Gareth called his mother in Perth, Australia, who became very quiet on hearing his descriptions. She soon said that his late uncle loved his pies and pasties from a particular baker during the 1980s. Astoundingly, she also said that the house he had visited in his dream was her childhood home, which Gareth had never been to. Gareth's mother sent him a photo of the house, showing her and his grandmother in the backyard. It sent chills down his spine when he saw the brick wall and yard in the background, which were identical with those he saw in the dream. In a later dream, Gareth found himself walking side by side with his father, who sadly passed away in 2015. They were walking down a street behind his childhood street. He was looking at his dad and could see that he was talking to him, laughing, smiling and gesturing like they were reminiscing on good times. The strange aspect was that he couldn't hear either his father or himself, but the atmosphere was definitely like they were engaging in a wonderful conversation, and that it was a very powerful and emotional event. A recurring aspect of dream encounters is that often there are no spoken exchanges, with the communication taking place seemingly telepathically. In effect, they seem to be about the deceased person wishing to reassure the dreamer that they are okay and still thinking and caring about them. One psychical researcher has interpreted this link a step further. It has been claimed that we earthbound humans are so homesick for our existences on what is called the other side, and also, quote, home, that we travel there astrally as we sleep. According to this theorist, this journey happens at least 2 or 3 times a week, but we don't consciously remember it. They suggest that it's there that we reconnect not only with those we've lost during this incarnation, but family and relationships from previous lives. In one account, a woman named Sandy reported a recurring dream over months, which always seemed to take place in specific locations, and in which her name was Diana. Her psychic believed that she was taking astral trips home while asleep, and for some reason was remembering them more vividly than most of us. Another researcher into the dream state and describing a completely different function to our dream life was a Russian psychiatrist working last century. Vasily Kazatkin had found that during the nearly 2.5-year German siege of Leningrad during World War II, he became able to identify which victims would develop more severe illnesses from descriptions of their dreams. Over the next 40 years, he committed to studying people's dreams and analysing the indicative power of dreams in relation to the health of the body. Working at the Leningrad Neurosurgical Institute and hospitals, Kazatkin studied more than 10,000 dreams collected from 1,200 people and developed a theory of dreams opposed to Freud's psychoanalytical view. He saw dreams as reflecting a person's internal physiological processes, showing the brain's ability to sense illness and provide dream-coded warnings long before recognisable symptoms appear. In his 1967 book Theory of Dreams, Kazatkin made a bold statement. He said, "Describe me the dream of a person and I will tell you what illness they suffer from." He believed that the brain's outer layer of active cells registered the minutest deviation from normal conditions in the body, specifically during sleep at night when distractions are at a minimum. Kazatkin's theory is grounded in numerous scientifically based facts and observations gleaned from his decades-long collection of dreams. He concludes that the sleeping brain can warn us of impending disease weeks, months, or even years prior to overt physical symptoms becoming apparent. Of the thousands of examples in his book, one dream was that of a woman who dreamed over and over again of being crushed and unable to breathe. 2 months later, she was diagnosed with tuberculosis. One young student had recurring nightmares of being immobilized by a strangling python. Doctors could find nothing wrong until, a year later, he was found to have developed a spinal tumour which threatened him with paralysis. In another, a man dreamt of being in a hospital while surrounding doctors and nurses made him aware that his lungs were filling up with mucus. The doctor explained that it wouldn't harm him in the short term, but if he continued smoking, he would be badly affected in later life. The dream was so vivid, he decided to give up smoking immediately. Weird World viewer Pat told us of a dream in which she was frantically trying to clear rocks from a blocked waterfall. A short time after this, she was diagnosed with kidney stones. Kazatkin wanted to use his theory to help people and believed that if doctors were skilled in interpreting patients' dreams, they might be able to detect illness at an early and treatable stage. While Kazatkin's theory has not been disproven, other researchers have been able to build on his work. One recent study from the University of Birmingham in the United Kingdom found that people with frequent bad dreams or nightmares at least once a week were more likely to develop Parkinson's disease. If Kazatkin was still with us, he would say to ignore the occasional nightmare and let's hope your next dream state is of the happy and reassuring kind.